Hi, this is Kym Watson for Easy Trader. This is an exclusive review of the key economic news events that are being released in the coming week. Okay, looking at the big stories, relatively quiet week ahead apart from the UK, which is the employment and quarterly inflation reports due out later in the week. Now, someone asked me what makes a key event. Now, what I refer to as a key event is data that could have a significant movement of the country's currency or have an effect on the currency. For example, last week we had Draghi speaking after the interest rate decision made by the ECB, and that is a key event. That what he says can move the market significantly in terms of the relevance of significance is the amount of pips it will make or potentially make from there. Now, after 20 minutes, initially we had a 30-40 pip move up, and then after 20 minutes he said the key words and we saw a significant move following his meeting. So that's what I'm looking for. Now, these really depend on the macro or the larger economic cycle that the market may be in. So sometimes we could be looking at housing stock in the US particularly, which would, when the markets are buoyant, could have a significant effect on interest rate or potential interest rates as the Fed makes decisions to slow down the growth a little bit. When we're seeing housing grow significantly, well, that could signify the potential of higher interest rates in the US, in which case we could see quite a big move. In the current situation, and this is why I say it depends on the where we are in the cycle. In the current situation, housing isn't a key factor, so I don't really refer to it too much. Although on this Friday, we got the US building permits, which in really buoyant times and the market's bubbling along, would be a key figure. At the moment, it has very little effect, 10 pips or so, or even less, on the markets, and it isn't a key mover. So only the most relevant may offer trading opportunities. I look to trade these news, and things like Draghi's speech to me is where the jam is to be available. The best trades are to be had. So of the trades when we talk through this week, there's very few that I'll actually look to trade. But the ones I do trade often provide us with a reasonable return. Not all of them. We're looking for key surprises quite often. It's not all about what they say, it's what's not been said or what has not happened, and it's that surprise. If things come in below estimates, we get bigger movements, and it is really surprises that we're looking for. Okay, let's have a look through the week of the key news events, and there's no key figures coming out for Monday the 12th. Tuesday, there is a figure that I don't actually trade, but may look to at some point. But it's the Chinese industrial production, very significant figure for the Australasian area. Particularly could affect currencies such as the Australian dollar, because the more production, the more need for raw materials, which has the knock-on effect to the suppliers. So, very key figure though, all the same. Moving into Eurozone, and we've got the German economic sentiment at 10 o'clock. This isn't really moving the market at the moment, so not tradable to me. And the US core retail sales, again, have not got really any significant decent moves from these at the moment. So whilst they may generate the odd movement, it's not been very tradable of late. Then we move to Wednesday the 14th, and we've got two good potentially tradable reports. We've got the UK employment report, which is straightforward, 9:30, data's bang, it's there, and we can see what's going on. And then we get the Bank of England release the inflation report, and Mark Carney will then speak about the report thereafter at 10:30. So that itself, it may create an initial move as analysts will look at the prediction of interest rate or inflation rates, which of course then have a knock-on effect on the interest rates potentially. So that will be the initial move, and then we may get a counter move when Mark Carney actually starts speaking about the prospects for inflation and maybe even interest rate decisions. Moving on, Thursday the 15th, nothing here significant in terms of trading. for me. We got earlier on, we got the French prelim GDP, quite a key figure, of course, for the but it doesn't really move the euro too much. It's very early in the morning, and it really has very little effect on the markets. Now, the German figure does have a little effect, but not to the point where you can actually make too much money from it generally. So to me, it's there, it's noise, but it's not tradable at the moment. And then we've got the European figure as a whole. Again, because it's such a wide-ranging figure, it doesn't really give us much trading possibility. Later on in the afternoon, we've got the US core consumer price index inflation figures. Now, we've already been sort of given guidance of interest rate decisions not being increased for some time, so these have less impact. Now, of course, if the inflation goes to a significant deflation, or looks like deflation is on the way, well, then it may have a bigger effect. But in the main, it hasn't been giving us much in the way of trades of late. And then we've got the US Fed Manufacturing Index. Again, an important number, however, not really generating too much movement at the moment. And then Friday, we've got no significant figures out. As I say, we have got the building permits in the US at 1:30, and we've got a bit of consumer sentiment at 2:55, but neither of those have been particularly tradable of late, so they're less key at the moment. Okay, that sums up for today, this week's key news events. I hope you have a great week. This has been Kym Watson for Easy Trader. Bye for now.